Now we will start the second session, which is the two names, الظاهر والباطن. الظاهر means the evident or the manifest. It was explained by the Prophet ﷺ in the dua that I mentioned. He said, "Oh Allah, you are al-Zahir. You are the evident. Nothing is above you." Therefore, al-Zahir entails highness, the highness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is higher than all the creation in qadr, in degree, and in power, as well as in attributes, and higher than anyone else in these attributes. So there are generous people, and Allah is Al-Kareem, the generous. But His generosity cannot be compared to anyone. There are merciful people, and Allah is the merciful, but His mercy cannot be compared to any mercy. So Allah is Allah, He's above anyone. Some may argue that if we say that He is above everything or higher than everything, then this will be attributing corporeality for Allah. Corporeality means that like He has a body or a corpse. Because if you say He is above, so here you may be falling into a big problem, aqeedah problem, that you're saying that He has a corpse. That's why those scholars said He is above and higher in degree. Okay? But that's not true actually. There will be no problem if you say that He is above everything, because this is what the Prophet ﷺ said. He said, "You are al-Zahir, the evident. Nothing is above you." You want to know what He said also? He said, "And you are al-Batin, you are the innermost. Nothing is dunaka, la shay'a dunak," which means nothing is below you. But they could not. They said nothing is beyond you. Actually, dunaka means below you. Hey, come on, this will put us into a big problem now, aqeedah-wise. If you say Allah is above everything and below everything, then you are actually falling into a big problem now, because you are attributing corporeality for Allah. No, there is no corporeality. Why? As we said, the first and the last contains time. Also, al-Zahir wal-Batin, or the evident and the innermost, contains space. So Allah is al-Zahir, above space, and Allah is al-Batin, below space. So Allah is not in the space. Bodies are in space. Allah is above space and below space. He's beyond space. He's the innermost, the closest to everything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So He is not in space to have a body. Time is contained by the names, the first and the last. And space is contained by the names of Zahir wal Batin, the evident and the innermost. Imam Khattabi said, He is manifest, Zahir, for the wise who think and contemplate, which is true too. When you think, when you look around you, Allah becomes Zahir to you, very evident to you. The signs of His creation prove His existence, so He becomes evident. No matter the level of education, doesn't matter. Someone can be very uneducated, but if he utilizes his intellect and looks around him, he will discover that there is a God. Like the Bedouin who told the Prophet ﷺ, he was with the Prophet and someone came asking about Allah. Is there a God? Is there a creator? And before the Prophet responds, the Bedouin responded. He said, what a question. Al-ba'ra tadullu ala al-ba'ir. He said, the presence of dung is a proof that a camel was here. The footprints in the sand is an evidence that a person was here. Definitely, skies and stars and vast land is evidence that a wise creator is here. He's a Bedouin, very uneducated, but he thought, he said, if I see dung, then this proves that a camel passed from here. If I see footprints in the sand, this proves that a person passed from here. How come all this beautiful universe, all these variations and synchronizations and numeration came without a creator? And he's a Bedouin. How to benefit from the name Al-Zahir? Be manifest too. Be always there when you're needed without showing off. I told you before the story of Dr. Ahmad Al-Qadi. I was a member of the committee of a fundraising committee in a mosque in Washington, D.C. And we used to make a fundraising every week, sometimes for very important things, for Palestine, for Somalia, for these things. And sometimes for very simple things like shampooing the carpets and stuff like that. Every time we need anything, we just collect money from people. And because I'm a member of the committee, so I go inside and I take all the forms that we collect from people, and I start to see the pledges. Someone is pledging to pay $1,000. Someone else $100. Someone $10. There is someone who was always there donating in every single fundraiser. And this name was Dr. Ahmad Al-Qadi. May Allah bless his soul. He died a few years ago. He was a student of Sheikh Hassan al-Banna. But the issue is, sometimes he donates $500 or $1,000 and sometimes $10. He never donated like $100. Either 1,000 or 10. So I went to visit him and I said, Dr. Ahmad, can you please answer my question? Why is that? Sometimes you donate 1,000 and sometimes just 10. He said, listen, when you find me donating 1,000, it means that I was convinced with the cause and I really want to donate and participate. When you find me donating $10, it means that I wasn't really convinced and I'm not donating. So I'm still donating. It has to be Zahir. He has to be there. Why? He said, because maybe I wasn't convinced, but this cause is very good and everyone who will donate will go to paradise. So why? Why deprive myself? See, always be there. Leave a legacy. Leave something behind you. The day of judgment is a long day, 50,000 years. You will meet people. You will meet Khalid ibn al-Walid. You know what he did. Huh? He will say, I conquered the Romans and I conquered the Persians. You will meet Imam al-Shafi'i. You will meet Imam Abu Hanifa. You will meet Abbas ibn Firnas. You will meet Al-Fazari, the one who invented the astrolabe. And you will introduce yourself. You will say, my name is such and such. Okay, what did you do? What are you going to say? Think. You will tell them, I did what? I used to pray 5 times a day. They will tell you, this is something you do for yourself. Everybody was doing that. What did you do for the ummah? Were you Zahir? Were you evident somehow? So be there when you're needed always. Benefit people. The name Al-Batin, or the innermost, the Prophet ﷺ said, you are the innermost and there is nothing beyond you. And as I said, the word literally, dunak, means below you. But khalas, we spoke about that there is no sensitivity here because Al-Zahir and Al-Batin contain space. So bodies only exist in space. Allah doesn't have a body. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is above space and below space, beyond space, innermost. Because if we fall in the problem or dilemma of corporeality, this can also make people deviate and attribute pantheism to Allah. And pantheism is actually what destroyed many people. And pantheism, for those who don't know, it's the belief that the universe is identical with divinity. One of the pantheists, very famous pantheists through the ages, he used to say, Allah exists in everything. And then he used to point at a dog and say, this dog is God. And then he says, you know what is under these clothes, this shirt and this gubba? They say what? He says, God. This is pantheism, that people think that God is united with the universe. That's not right. That's not right. So, but the issue is, he is batin, so he is closer to everything than anything. This closeness, according to the scholars, is the closeness of knowledge and the closeness of being fully aware, full awareness. He is also close to the believers, providing them guidance, providing them knowledge, providing them wisdom. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Qaf, وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ وَنَعْلَمُ مَا تُوَسْوِسُ بِهِ نَفْسُهُ وَنَحْنُ أَقْرَبُ إِلَيْهِ مِنْ حَبِلِ الْوَرِيدِ. Allah says, indeed we have created man and we know whatever thoughts his inner self develops, and we are closer to him than his jugular vein. Your jugular vein, Allah is closer to you than your own vein. He knows you better than you know yourself. He knows what yourself is developing, what you think about. He knows everything. Imam al-Khattabi said, Al-Batin huwa al-muhtajibu an absar al-khalq, which means he is hidden from the seeing sense of his creation, which is true. Allah cannot be seen. Why? Why can't Allah be seen? It would have been much easier for us. There are atheists, there are agnostics, and there are believers, and there are semi-believers. Okay. To which extent do you brothers believe that I exist? What's the percentage of my existence? 100%. Why? Because you can see me. So every one of you believes 100% that I exist. So your belief in my existence is the same. How can we test you except if I don't appear? If I tell you Imam Abdul Qayyum is inside this room, some of you believe me, some not. Some of you will have doubts. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala لا تدركه الأبصار وهو يدرك الأبصار. No vision can grasp him, but his grasp is over all vision. Allah doesn't only see you, Allah sees your vision. Al-Zahir, because he is the manifest for those who think and utilize their intellect. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات لأولي الألباب. And he said, والفلك التي تجري في البحر بما ينفع الناس وما أنزل الله من السماء من ماء فأحيا به الأرض بعد موتها وبث فيها من كل دابة وتصريف الرياح والسحاب المسخر بين السماء والأرض لآيات لقوم يعقلون. Listen to this. Surely in the creation of heavens and earth, and the alternation of night and day, and the ships that sail in the sea, carrying that which benefits people, and in the water Allah sent down from the sky, then revived with the earth after it was dead, and in every creature he has scattered on it, and in turning of winds, and in clouds employed to serve between heaven and earth, there are signs for those who have sense. In all these there are what? Signs. Signs for what? Signs of what? Signs of the existence of God. So he is evident, as I said, for those who utilize their intellect, who look around him and see that he is evident when they see the creation. Prophet Musa asked Allah to reveal himself to him. He wanted to see Allah. He said, Oh Allah, My Lord, show me yourself. I want to look upon you. Allah said, you cannot see me. But look at the mountain. If it stands still in its place, then you will see me. And then Allah revealed himself to the mountain. And the mountain smashed, collapsed. And Moses fainted. And then he asked Allah for forgiveness for that. No one can see Allah in this life. As I said, why can't we see him? Because this life is a test. Allah brought us here to test us, to test our belief. If I tell you there's a drop of water on the ceiling and it's going to fall now over your head, if you believe me 100%, you will run quickly and you will be safe. If you don't believe me 100%, you will say, okay, let me make sure that he is telling me the truth. So you will look, and then when you realize that there is a drop of water, you will start moving. But here you put yourself at risk that you may not have the time to do that. And if you reject what I say, if you consider that I'm a liar, you say, there is nothing there. And then it will drop on your head. The problem is, because we cannot see Allah, some people think that Allah cannot see us too. This is the problem. The problem is the same thing also. People forget that they came here to this life to be tested. So they thought that they are here to test Allah. They say, look what's happening. Children cancer, evil things, harm, tsunamis, earthquakes. How can he exist? See? So they are testing Allah. Or how can he be merciful? Or how can he be just? This is a problem. They forgot the purpose. They are here to be tested, not to test Allah. And not because you cannot see him, you think that he doesn't see you. No, he sees you so well. And he is closer to you than your jugular vein. Allah says, وَلَا تَحْسَبَنَّ اللَّهَ غَافِلًا عَمَّا يَعْمَلُ الظَّالِمُونَ إِنَّمَا يُؤَخِّرُهُمْ لِيَوْمٍ تَشْخَصُ فِيهِ الْأَبْصَارِ. Never think that Allah is unaware of what the wrongdoers are doing. He is but giving them respite up to a day when the eyes shall remain upraised in terror. That's why those who believe in ghaib, believe in the unseen, will be rewarded with what? Paradise. Because it's hard. It's hard. Why? Why is it hard? Especially these names that I'm talking about. Al-awwal, wal-akhir, al-zahir, wal-batin, the last and the first, and the evident and the innermost. These things, when I explain it, it makes sense. You can understand it, but you cannot imagine it. If I tell you God is merciful, it is easy to comprehend it. Why? Because you know a merciful person in your life. So you can use him as a standard. So when I tell you God is merciful, you will directly remember your mom. And then you will do qiyas, analogy, what mercy is. So okay, I comprehend fully what merciful means. But when I tell you Allah is the first without a beginning before time, the last without an end after time, he is the evident above space, he is the innermost below space or beyond space. You can understand it, but you cannot imagine it. There is no experience with something like that. You don't have experience with this before. You don't know anyone like that or a phenomenon like that, similar to that, so that you can use as a reference. There isn't. So some things can make sense, but cannot be imagined. You cannot fathom fully. Ibn Jarir said, Al-Batin, the innermost, هو الباطن لجميع الأشياء فلا شيء أقرب إلى شيء منه. It means he is the innermost to everything, so there is nothing closer than him to everything, to anything than anything. And he mentioned the same verse that I said, that when Allah said, we are closer to the human being than his own jugular vein. Allah is closer to you to the extent that he is the one doing your good deeds. Allah said, وَمَا رَمَيْتَ إِذْ رَمَيْتَ وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ رَمَى. And you did not throw when you threw, but Allah did throw. He said, أَأَنْتُمْ تَزْرَعُونَهُ أَمْ نَحْنُ الزَّارِعُونَ? Have you seen that which you cultivate? Is it you who grow it, or are we the one who grows it? So the clever one is the one who sees al-batin, or the hidden, in all these things. So Allah is batin, He is hidden in your good actions. When you do good things, it's Allah who did it, not you. Allah used you to guide someone. And that's what the Prophet said. If Allah uses you to guide someone, it is better for you than all the red camels, which is like red Mercedes today. So it's not you who guide. It's Allah who guide through you. Let His good go and reach people through you. Make yourself a tool that the good of Allah reaches people. How to benefit from al-batin, the innermost or the closest? Be close to the servants of Allah. Visit the brothers. Visit sisters. Visit your sisters. And make sure that rich people have enough visitors. Visit poor people. Vulnerable people. Ask about them. Give them before they ask. Save them from asking. As I said last time, that Imam Abu Hamid al-Ghazali said that if you allow a Muslim to ask you, and then you give him after he asks, you are not entitled for the title brother. You should give before they ask. You should go and ask them about the situation, about their problems, before they do that and humiliate themselves. I ask Allah at the end of this lesson, by all His beautiful names, to bless you and to bless your families, and to save the Muslim blood, and to save the Muslim children in Syria, in Iraq, in Bangladesh, in Egypt, to save the innocents, to relieve the innocents from the jails of the tyrants. Don't you ever forget your brothers and sisters. When you take dinner, remember that there are Muslims who don't have dinner. Remember them all the time. When you sleep in your bed, in your cozy bed, and you feel safe, remember that there are people who don't have safety in this cold winter, and they are sleeping on the floor without a mattress, without a blanket, in the jails of Sisi and other tyrants. Remember them in your dua, and make dua for them, that Allah may release them and protect them and preserve them and break and vanquish this tyrant and all the tyrants. Jazakumullah khairan. Barakallahu fikum.